Welcome to Timeless Conversations, a channel where we talk about life and adulting,
the ups,
the downs,
and everything in between.
My name is Sharon.
My name is Aisha.
And my name is Robinah. In today's episode, we are going to talk about things we should stop normalizing. Things that society has made okay for you to just say, and yet they are not okay. So we are going to tell you to stop normalizing these things because it's unkind and you don't know what people are going through, honestly. So we need to do better. Who would like to go first?
I will. I think one of the things that we shouldn't normalize as a society is commenting about people's weight. Because people are struggling, people have been diagnosed, people are dealing with different ailments. Someone has been struggling with their weight scale every morning. They are struggling with those numbers. So you don't know whether someone is slim or thick. Just keep the snide comments to yourself, because I know a lot of people who will not come out and say, you know what, this is my struggle. But you know, deep down, they wish things could be different. They wish they could have, you know, like we want to have our bodies in check, you know, but sometimes it's beyond our control. A lot of people are, you know, on medications that, you know, just accelerate their gaining of weight. And then other people have been struggling to gain some weight for years. You know, this is quite personal because for a very long time now, my sister and I are built differently, I would say. I'm slim while she's thick. Nicely thick. Nicely slim.
She's beautiful, meanwhile.
Like, you guys, my sister is gorgeous. But there was that thing of comparing, you know. Someone says, I wish you could add some weight. But this is who I am, and I'm not going to change. I'm not going to, you know, go on supplements and, you know, kill myself over weight that, you know, I don't know if I will ever gain. But I'm comfortable in my skin, yeah? So someone out there, you know, mentioning it is another way of you know, putting me under a certain scrutiny beyond who I am. Like, there is so much more I bring to the table as a personality. Like, you know, I bring much more than just my weight.
Right.
So I wish people would understand that, you know, some of these comments, as much as, you know, they are very well meaning, you know, it does not come from a place of wanting to be a bad person. It could be innocent, but you don't know how it's going to be for the other person taking in that information. So I feel we should do better as a society.
And you know, it's so sad that people will never really be happy about, should I say, a particular state.
They will never, like, you can't please anybody.
Because I remember when I just given birth, of course I gained some weight, which is almost, I won't say is expected, because there are people, the people who give birth and then they lose weight, and then they'll be like, I'm going to say this in Luganda, like, omwana akuyonka. To literally,
like the child is breastfeeding and sucking everything out of you.
Yes, sucking the life out of you. And these are mean comments.
Yes, they are.
So I gained some weight, and then fast forward a few years later, I lost a bit of weight, and which is expected. My metabolism, you know, is not the same as it was at the time. You've lost weight. You actually look so much better with some weight on. Like, what do people want? Just let people be, because everyone has their own perspective of how they feel they should be. You going on and bugging them about what they look like doesn't help matters in any way, unless they have come to you and asked for their opinion,
which is highly unlikely.
Exactly, on some food supplements they should take, or things like that, then let it be. And then there's also this misconception that those who are, you know, bigger, if I may use that term, gosh, I don't even want to go into that terminology, like, don't crucify me for the words I use. You know, the perception is, reduce on the food you're eating. What makes you think that it's because of the food I'm eating? I know people who hardly eat,
and yet they gain.
Exactly. So be kind to people. Like, let's be kind to each other. Yeah.
Actually, sometimes it's not black and white, almost times.
Yeah.
Because some people hardly eat, or they eat the same portions as we do. But some of us have just been small from childhood. And some people have just been big from childhood.
Yeah.
They won't wake up one day and they are no longer big. It's possible, but what if it doesn't happen? It's just them. Let's learn to accept people the way they are, because you don't know what struggles they are going through. I know someone who was small at the beginning, like up to teenage years. She fell sick, and the medication she was put on made her gain a lot of weight. And this lady struggled with her weight until she accepted. But the things that people would see, like people who knew her back then and now see her now that she's a bit bigger, the comments that some people would say would make me feel really bad, because me, I knew the story. So for people who didn't know, I felt like it was so unkind, but it's also not in your place.
And not everyone needs to know the story.
I know, not everyone. It's like what she's comfortable sharing, whoever she's comfortable sharing it with. So I feel like we need to stop commenting on people's weight. And I'm a victim. When you were sharing, I remembered I told someone that actually very recently.
Ooh.
And you know this thing of utilizing the eyes of the beholder. I genuinely was well-meaning, because she had gained a bit of weight and she looked nice. Not that she didn't look
in
nice
your
before.
opinion.
I know, in my opinion. And I'm going to apologize tomorrow, because I was unkind. It was well-meaning, by the way, like in my eyes.
Most times
it
seems well-meaning. So that's why we should say, that's why we're saying stop normalizing.
I know.
Them, you know? Much as it seems normal, it may not necessarily be normal. So,
I know.
Yeah.
True. You know, when Sharon was sharing, I remembered when I had just given birth. I was struggling with my own weight, trying to lose the baby fat and all. And yet I was also struggling, making sure that the triplets were gaining weight, because they were premature.
Oh, yes.
So someone pointing out that, you have gained a lot of weight, it was a way of, fueling an inside insecurity that I was struggling with. And to be honest, it never gets any beautiful. It's always an ugly way of reminding someone of something that they are failing to do, even when you don't know that they're actually trying. And to be honest, it's very unfair on ladies. If you know someone has been pregnant for 9 months, they gained the weight when they were pregnant, do you expect them to lose that weight when they've just given birth?
They first of all have a child depending on them.
Yes.
Your weight is like
you have to feed to also feed the child. So all those.
Are you saying that I would rather die on that treadmill instead of taking care of my child's nutrition?
Of course not.
I mean, do better, guys.
Let's do better.
Yeah.
Honestly. Another thing that we should stop normalizing is asking people when they are going to give birth. Like when they're newly married, you start asking them, when, like, we're not seeing signs of you being pregnant, should we give you some raw mangoes and stuff like that?
You know those subtle jokes. I don't know if our international viewers know why the mangoes thing comes in, because the expectation is that the expectation is that when you're pregnant you should crave some raw mangoes.
Because they're sour and but honestly, I feel like these people have just gotten married. They are just learning how to share a space, like having someone in your face all the time. They're trying to get to know each other. They're trying to build a family, but you can't bring in a child when the foundations are shaky. You have to first be comfortable with each other. You have to first lay a foundation to bring a child into this world generally. And so you starting to ask them when they are giving birth, it's not your decision to make. It is their decision to make when they are willing and able to have their children.
And also people have taken on different life decisions.
Right.
I know a lot of people who have chosen to be child-free. People that have chosen to go the adoption way.
Yes.
So you and your
your expectations.
You're expecting someone to give birth in the first year of marriage. you have not been in their plans. You don't know the stories that they have shared as a couple. You don't know if they actually plan to have a child or not. So you asking and placing a timeline.
I know.
You people overmind people's reproductive systems. You're asking someone if they are going to give birth. You don't even know if they are able to.
Right? Maybe they are struggling. Maybe they've been trying, and
Yes,
you're just making
child
things
loss
worse.
is real.
Because-
Child loss is real.
People are having miscarriages, guys. They cannot talk about them in public. And for you asking, you don't know that someone was in the bathroom just yesterday crying
Thank
over
you.
a pregnancy test
Thank
kit
you.
that failed to show red signs.
Yeah.
Or even just their periods coming.
Please just let people be.
And I think most times also the perception is because you're seeing the person, all happy and all that. Like, just because people are having these challenges doesn't mean that they're going to go out and tell everyone in public that, oh, we would really want to have a child now, but because of challenges, like, should they go around saying we want a
Explaining.
child, but there's a challenge, like, definitely not. I remember, I don't know who it was, but a friend, I don't think it was still one of us here, who commented about a friend who posted about how she was going to travel, and she was so happy, and she was like, hey, you're going to travel, because she posted, I think, a picture of herself in a plane. But then on that friend probing, she says that I'd actually just lost, like, I just had a miscarriage like the day before or that week. So you don't know what people are dealing with.
Yeah, you're just seeing their pretty parts, but people are struggling.
Yes, I mean, even people who actually get pregnant and you can evidently see that the person is pregnant, don't be asking, oh, how's the baby, if
I
you've not
know.
even...
Some even go ahead and touch the tummy.
Oh my God. Guys, boundaries.
Boundaries. I feel like this is not just something we should stop normalizing, but like, it shouldn't even be talked about at all. It's the same as when are you having a second child, or like you now have one child, so when is the next one coming? The child is lonely. The child needs a playmate. I mean,
You girls.
we appreciate,
Our society is
but
funny,
no.
honestly.
Let's give people some privacy and space.
decision
Yeah.
to
I'm
make.
laughing because honestly, people can be so overreaching. I know a lot of people who ask me, so even with triplets, you're still going to go back to the labor ward? Are you okay? Is everything okay at home?
Like,
It's actually
Let me
your
alone.
is it any of your
decision
business?
Like, people mind
What if
people's-
I want 2 more sets of triplets?
And then they also go ahead and say, so what if you go back and have 4 at a go? Like,
oh,
it
goodness.
doesn't add up. But as much as it sounds well-meaning, you're happy
It's
that
never
you know
well-meaning,
someone
guys.
who has triplets, please, like keep it on the low. And then when they see your child getting, because when the kids are making 2 years, I had people already asking me,
So they were just waiting for them to clock 2.
so they start asking,
So they can start asking for
are
more
you-
children.
like for me,
Wow.
I know people who actually have secondary infertility. So just because someone
Yes,
has been able to
yes.
give birth, it doesn't give you a right to ask if they are able to.
Yeah.
Like, people have struggles. Just do better.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Another thing that we should stop normalizing is, I don't know if it's a misconception or something people expect, or, okay, it's both ways. Women not supporting one another, or feeling like as if, it's a competition just because we're doing the same thing. It's not a competition. Like, everyone has their race to run. Run your race, let me run my race. And it's so unfortunate that even in a situation whereby I will say a problem has been brought on by a man, but if it involves 2 women, some women choose to make it the problem of the other woman, when in reality the person to blame is not even this other woman. But in the spirit of feminism, Anyway, let's really just stop normalizing, like putting each other down, because you have different strengths. There's no reason for you to bring down another person for you to be able to feel like, yeah, I'm better, I drive a better car, my kids are in a better school. Like the comparison and wanting to feel like, you're so much better than everyone else. Let's stop normalizing that. Yeah.
It's not even necessary, honestly.
Not at all.
I have learned, especially while I was climbing the career ladder, this is very unfortunate, but I've learned that a lot of women think it's a competition of sorts.
So sad.
As much as I would think there is strength in numbers, there was a time when we would find only one woman in an organization, and it would be the secretary. But thank God for yes, you guys. My grandmother told me that for so long, women were not. First of all, they didn't have access to education because of the inequalities at that time. So now, because there's been a wave and a movement that has allowed us to join organizations, to take on leadership roles, to do things differently. We should now build a girl tribe.
Yeah.
To build like a fence for each other, but to also able each other, like have an army of sorts. Yeah? Because I believe it's not a perception that we are strong. We are actually strong.
Yeah.
So when we are able to pull each other together,
Yeah.
because we are differently capable, you the things that you do, I may not be able to do. But even if I am able to do, the style that you do your work is definitely going to be different from mine. So if we can pull closer and lift each other, we do so much. We can do so many things for ourselves, and also be an inspiration, because there's no one who is going to inspire our children. We are raising a generation. So if we are not able to inspire the kids that we are grooming and raising, then we have failed. So women, instead of competing in workspaces, not just career world, even in the business world,
Oh yeah, like
Boy,
the shops that are next to each other.
You know?
And they
And witchcraft.
and that's where this whole narrative started from, that men make better friends, make
better friends than women.
yes, men make, like there's less drama. I don't believe that.
I feel like that that kind of saying of women are always in competition also really just furthers the narrative of if you keep saying that women are always fighting each other, I feel like, and making it sound like it's normal, only makes only like, I feel like it sows a seed of they say we are always competing, let's compete, you get. So I feel like we shouldn't even be saying some of these things at all. Like, don't say that women don't make good friends. Why not? Women don't, they're always competing in workspaces, and then someone comes up. I even know someone who likes snitching and doing weird things to other women in the workspace, and I'm like, instead of building a girl tribe, like you said, instead of building,
It's a sisterhood.
I know, instead of building a chain of people that you can fight with or you can stand with, you are there just competing with everyone else and looking for favors, which is so off, honestly.
So normalize not failing your women at work, your fellow women.
Yes.
So much. And you know what Robinah said about how people keep saying it, and then it's like it also fuels. I know of departments whereby literally the whole department, except maybe one person, are women. And it's becoming quite common of late.
Which is a good thing.
Yes. But, when people make such comments like, the whole department is full of women.
Drama.
And then, yes. So I think also because of that, it kind of, depending on who hears it, if you're the type of people who are very easily impressionable and you go with whatever people are saying, then it's like they've said, so I should cause some drama.
Yes.
But it's you don't have to.
Yes.
It doesn't
You
mean that
really
because it's
don't.
only women and there's no man on the team that you can't work well together and things,
Right?
can't flow. No.
I agree. So, also, quite unrelated, but please normalize not making fun of other people's cultures. You know,
I agree.
us as Africans, our tradition, like inherently, we have a strong attachment to where we come from, our tradition, our norm, our culture, our tribes, you know. I've seen a lot of people making fun of, you know, and making snide comments about other people's tribes and you know, like making it seem like it's something that should be ridiculed.
Yeah.
And I feel we need to do better as a society, because
We do.
we are one people, but also we need to accept and, you know, agree that we are different. Yeah. So you saying a certain comment, thinking that it is hilarious about someone's tribe is actually not funny.
It isn't.
I've gone to comedy shows where, you know, the entire comedy line is about tribes. And you wonder, where are we going as a society if we cannot even accept the difference in who we are as a nation, as a people. I've also seen people who I find this funny. Sometime back, someone said, "Wait, you're Amnyango and you're also applying for jobs." I thought you guys just line up at State House
And say your name.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I thought, okay, what a way to make a very rude thing. You know, it was such a rude thing to say. And then I have people who say, "Hey, you're interesting that tribe in finance." Like, you know, like, I find it so funny, and yet so not funny.
Yeah. It's
Man, I know. For me, I can relate. That's why I was agreeing with you. While at school, that making fun of people's tribes, us Northerners were really victims. I feel like now it's a lot better, maybe because we've grown up and there are not many opportunities to ridicule Northerners anymore in my spaces. I really don't know. Maybe the younger people can tell us. But at school, honestly, they made us feel inferior. Especially one of the schools I went to, which is in the central, Eastern. They even had a name for us, Badingi. I don't even know what it means.
What is that? I've never heard about it.
Like, I'm just telling you how much some of the things that are said about you contributes to how you start to see yourself.
And your esteem.
Exactly. So they would say so much about us. Badingi this, badingi that, badingi. And now I see as if, okay, now where I am now, I feel like this has reduced. And for some reason, I don't have to remember so much that I'm a Northerner. Like, I am not being made to feel like being a Northerner is a bad thing anymore. You get. But while we were young, we suffered. And then when you're light-skinned, they're like, are you a Northerner? I don't think you are on. I don't think you're one of them.
Not even just are you
not just
Northerner,
if you look certain
not just Northerners.
Yeah.
They normally give those backhanded compliments.
Ask some of us.
Of like, are you sure you're from that side? No, you look like Banyaranda. What are you saying?
Like, can't we be pretty and be from
a certain
from
tribe,
the eastern part of Uganda or something like that?
Let's normalize to, you know, be cultured.
But you know, also on the example of like, I think it all goes back to like comparisons. Like, I think everyone wants to feel like their culture is better, which is also almost similar to what I said earlier about, you know, the women and comparison. Because now of late there's also this one about, you know, like the traditional marriage functions. Depending on who is making the comment, you hear one saying that that culture, I won't name cultures, that culture, it's like as if they're being forced to get married.
Oh, what is that?
Because of how they enter in there. And then the same people who are making such snide comments about another culture will say, that culture, like, can't they compose themselves?
I know.
Like,
What do you want?
What do you want? Tell us.
Don't tell us. Let us be.
Let us stop. Let us stop. You see, like this one is all, you know, and then that, but both of them are not okay.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Just let people be, honestly.
Let people be. Let people be.
Another thing that we should stop normalizing. Another thing that we should stop normalizing is asking single people, when are you getting married? Leave us. The institution is good. It is a good institution. We do not dispute that. But don't push people prematurely in there. Let someone make a conscious decision to walk in with their eyes open. And they know what they are taking themselves into. They're in love with this person and they're ready to get married. And let it be the decision of the two people, not you. Even if you see me with a boyfriend, don't start asking us when are we getting married.
You guys have been dating for 5 years.
Right?
Leave us.
Like, leave people alone. Let people make their own decisions. And sometimes you don't know what people are dealing with, honestly.
Yeah.
So
You don't even know their timeline. What if they've decided to date for 5 years?
What if they
Thank
set out goals and said, after we finish this, then we can do that? Maybe they're saving money. They don't want to ask you for money. They don't want to create WhatsApp groups.
Thank you.
And beg you to come for wedding meetings.
Some people call them begging meetings.
And they?
People be nice.
Aisha.
I agree with Robinah because there's a way society has put a timeline, especially for women. I don't know if men also get that pressure.
I
Anyway, I
they
won't
do.
speak for Orange.
They
yes,
do, but
but I feel like the pressure
the
is too much
timelines
this
differ.
side. Because someone can ask you, you know, even the funny thing is it starts immediately after graduating.
Campus, yes.
At graduations, you will start hearing, oh, Yamuko, yeah? And then
When
they
you
when
invite
they
a
see
male-
a girlfriend, hey, the special treatment they'll get. But it's honestly just putting you in pressure of
I
like,
know.
what if they have expectations? Man, I've just graduated. Cut me some slack. But the moment you graduate in Kampala, they start saying, and it starts in the speeches. We are now expecting this.
Now that you've achieved this now.
The second function should be this. What if I want to get a second degree?
you know.
And then they start talking about grandkids, man, and they relax.
Now that you've spoken about that, I've remembered, you know how when we are growing up, actually from 0 to 18, everyone is telling you what to do. Like they're directing you, they have expectations of you, your parents, Bichi. So as soon as you cross over 19 or as soon as you finish school, they've been telling you, no boyfriends, leave boys alone. What? Now you're graduating, they're asking you for a man. Where will I have got
In
a
that
man
short
from?
space of no boyfriend,
I know.
where's the man? 18 to 19.
Like, they don't even want you to have male friends. Now they all of a sudden want a husband.
man.
Where am I going to get him from?
Yeah, but the expectations are quite high, eh?
Very, very high of
Very high.
of the girl child and the boy child. Another thing we need to stop normalizing is not, keeping our word.
Preacher.
Like in so many ways. If you have said you're going to, like you come to me to borrow money with an assurance of on this day I am going to give it back. Please don't wait for me to come and ask for it. Just keep your word and pay it back. Or come and tell me that I
Things
had
are not
thought,
good.
at least make the effort to communicate. Yeah? But
just says
we live,
otherwise.
I know. We live in a
Ugandans are
society
let's-
whereby people don't keep their word.
I know.
So, man,
Well, at least they made the word in the beginning.
at least they made the word.
You guys, the thing about, I don't know if it is just us as Ugandans that have, I remember even when we were doing economics, they used to say we have a very bad approach towards debts and loans. That's why even our interest rates are actually high.
They're
Because-
outrageous, honestly.
yeah. The predatory lending rates and interest rates are high because of our culture. We don't pay back. But
Let's do
let us just do better as a nation. But nah,
Pay
gardens
back.
and loans. For me, my mom actually told me recently, if it's money that you're willing to lose, it's okay, you give. But if you know you're not willing to lose that kind of money, don't lend. Because I've seen so many relationships crumble and friendships crumble over money. People just don't want to pay back.
And
Someone
then they
is
go
supposed
silent,
to, yes,
hoping you've forgotten.
honestly, if you know you're supposed to pay me back, why are you updating your status? For example,
When you're at CJ's,
Aisha, we shouldn't eat because we have your date.
you have a debt to pay and you're eating out. Why? Honestly, and then for me, what
That's
makes
why
me
we
angry,
block you first and post our status.
everyone except Aisha.
Aisha.
All contacts except Aisha.
you guys, honestly, there's nothing that asks me like someone who is supposed to pay you. Okay, tell me that, you know what, things happen. Because of course things happen. Communicate and tell me that, you know what, I'm not able to pay you this. You guys, I have someone I lent money in Jan last year. And it was
Well, like, they watch this video, they should
Jan last year. And they were supposed to pay back that money after 30 days, which was, I think, in the middle of Feb. That person up to today. I called them until they could lie no more, and they stopped picking my calls. I had sworn never ever to ever give anyone a loan until someone came back.
You give them
Again. I mean,
Okay, I also didn't keep my word to myself.
they take advantage of our generosity.
This one actually, now this one was very cunning. They were supposed to pay back that weekend. Only 3 days later. You guys, up
And
to
you
today.
You're still waiting.
And you know,
But the 3 days have been preached.
Banage was bitten twice shy. You guys, Banage pay back. Pay back. Otherwise, you know, we are losing a lot of money in debts, Banage. Do better. Do better. Normalize paying back.
But also listen to your mom. Don't give money. You're not willing
You're not willing to lose.
And they have relatives.
Oh, God. But you reminded
Anyway, but also it's sad that we are choosing money over our meaningful relationships. Because honestly, me, I'm also like you. I always see lending as an opportunity to help. Exactly. Not that we are trying to end this relationship so we give her money. No, I really look at it as an opportunity to help. And so let's not choose money over our relationships. Communicate if you are not able to. Because life happens. Sometimes you're actually not able to.
Yeah.
So communicate and keep your word. When you say, I will pay you next
That's the whole issue.
end of the month.
Yeah.
When you said 3 days, now it has changed to end of the month. Let end of the month come and pay.
That's the
That's
whole
even generous.
That's the whole essence.
You would.
These guys take months and months, and you know, like, we're all in the same economy. We are all struggling. Like, can't you just see that? And you know, for me, what makes me so angry, you've lent someone money, expecting absolutely no interest over it. Yeah. They go with that money, make money out of your money, right? You know, because it's a business. Most of these people do not lend, you know, to pay health bills and what. They are lending money for business. You make a lot of money out of the money I lent you with no interest whatsoever. So that the noble thing to do is return the seed. Do they return? Anyway.
It reminded me of a story of I have a friend who told me a story about her friend. So the friend wanted to borrow from her money. She's like, hey, babe, lend me some money. By the end of this month, I'll have got money. Then I do what? I pay you back. So she tells the friend that I don't have money right now. I was expecting to get some money, but I haven't got it yet. It will probably come in like 2 weeks. Like, yeah, okay, Kale. So the month ends. This person calls again. Like, hey, so are you still able to lend me that money? Are you guys getting where I'm going? So the month has ended, the month when the person should have been able to pay back the money, they're still calling to find out if they can bill it the money. Do you think this person was ever going to pay back the money?
Never.
So the person is expecting to get money at the end of the month to pay you back. But traits of people who never pay back.
And
So-
they are so shameless. Someone will borrow money, not pay back, and still come back for a second time.
Yeah. Very
But
true.
you know, debts are actually good. It's a good,
Very
like,
true.
me coming to borrow money from you is a good way of financing whatever needs I have. So for me, as me, the way I try to pay debts in time, you people, because I know that one day I'm still going to need this person, and they're still going to come through for me. So I need
Because
to
we
keep
also
the
do it,
Exactly.
yeah.
I need to keep
We
this
also do
relationship.
it.
Because imagine you want to start a business and you're short of like 500k, which without it you can't be able to do what you want to do, which is going to make you a lot more money. And then this person comes through for you. Anyway, we're making this
I know.
about money and lending.
It touches us.
I know that goes to show how much.
Please pay back
Just
our
pay back.
money.
Pay
2
back
years
people's
later.
money.
The other thing that I think we should not normalize, yeah? Thinking that when I say yes, I mean no. And when I say no, I mean yes. Like, for me, I'm a very assertive person, by the way.
Isn't that what men
A
think we
ladies,
mean?
a ladies no is a
Me,
yes.
I want to be the exception. When I mean no, I mean no. And don't you dare cross that boundary. And when I mean yes, I mean yes. These things of thinking, thinking that there's a gray line. Oh, she meant yes when she said no. Normalize
Yeah.
taking people for their word. If they mean something, that is what they mean. Do not blurry whatever they said into something that you want them to see.
But isn't it that we ladies love to play hard to get? So we first say no, and and then later, when we are marinated properly,
I think we also need to now normalize being firm with our words.
Yeah.
Not beating around. There's
We
no
are
time
adults.
to waste.
I know we
Yes.
are adults.
No.
It's true, by the way. When you like someone,
Yes.
say I like you back and cut them the time for chasing
Oh,
you.
say I
and
like you, but
assuming.
give me some time.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
You know?
different than
A lot
leaving
of people
things in the grey.
But I feel like we should do better as a society, because every time that you think someone is saying the other, it's like you're preempting them into you accepting that, they want to take your position.
Right.
And yet we are adults. We speak with clarity. If I want something, I want it. If I don't want it, I will still say so.
Yeah.
Let's normalize accepting people's no's as no's, not yeses.
And being
And that-
firm about them.
Have you seen
Yes.
you guys, there's an interview that I recently watched. It upset me.
Oh.
There were two ladies and a guy, and there was this guy that kept on tapping this woman's thighs while speaking.
But you see also how we are
Those
giving
people
each other
who-
high five.
Yes, that's okay.
Hey.
But this is an intimate body part. You
I mean,
can't
at
be
least give
speaking-
me a high five, and
Hey,
then if
you're
I raise
there
my
touching
hand, it means I've accepted your high five.
And this
If I
lady
don't put your hand down.
at some point, I saw her, trying to push away the hand,
Oh dear.
which to me was a signal of
That's yeah.
the uncomfort that she felt. But why he didn't read the cue?
No, I don't think it's because he didn't read the cue. Some people
So
do it
for me, I
intentionally.
I think that if someone has given you a signal, it doesn't even have to be verbal. Like, take it as it is, and be mature
Yeah.
enough to understand that no.
Manak.
Like
now
these
you've
people who
upset
talk
me
while
also.
slapping you.
Some people slap you hard at it.
Yes, you slap them back and then they know that it actually hurts. I mean, there's one I told her, me don't
When
beat
they were
me.
laughing while slapping.
Yes, I'm like, please, not me. Because me, I feel they do it intentionally. Even that man, you think he didn't know what he was doing.
But on camera, on an interview,
Yeah.
couldn't you go and find
We are
another
so mad.
opportunity? I know.
Yeah.
Couldn't they
I
go and
was
find
so
another opportunity?
Those are the things that we are saying.
Yeah.
Let's stop normalizing.
Respect people's boundaries.
I know. something else that we need to stop normalizing is circumventing our problems, like going around it, finding a temporary solution for your problem, and yet it is still going to be here waiting for you. For example, finding like coping mechanisms of drinking, of smoking, of, I don't know, finding solace in things that will not solve the problem. The problem will be there waiting for you by either way. So let's normalize dealing with our issues. If it's mental health issue, go to therapy. If you need to talk to the person, go and talk to them. Like, don't go around trying to cover up the problem. It will blow up and affect the people around you, honestly. Yeah.
I mean, the so-called coping mechanism can also end up being a problem in itself.
Right.
Those are the people you now find on the streets. Guy is now an alcoholic, can't, keep things together, and so no, running away from the problem doesn't really help it at all.
The other thing that came to my mind while we were speaking is the need to normalize not being very opinionated about everything. You have met those people who are like,
they
are source of knowledge for everything.
I know it.
Legal, medical, this and that. Like, for them, they are the technical experts everywhere. And I see this on Twitter a lot. You guys, there are some tips that just make me so angry. Like, they are very opinionated. They're not even willing to be teachable. They are there as the master of knowledge on all these topics around. Like, how are you going to be giving, And sometimes I see people who respond to them being more knowledgeable about the subject
right.
topic. And it's so embarrassing.
Oh, man.
So embarrassing seeing someone, stand on the pedestal for something they only know basics about. You're the same person who knows about procurement, finance, the law, the medical one, journalism ethics.
Do they know?
But now they normalize. People normalize not knowing everything.
Yeah. It reminds me of those ones who should normalize not having to know everyone.
In what way?
In the sense of, like, you enter a room, like, hey, my ombi from, like, you must be the one that knows everyone in the room. And is that, we are talking terms, like, oh, everyone likes me. That kind of situation, like, please. Not everyone likes you. Yeah?
The one thing that
everyone might be tolerating you.
When you were saying normalize not knowing everyone, something came to my mind. I remember these people who always know someone big. Of like,
that's the thing, yeah.
They have a gamba no.
Yes.
You're having a conversation about State House.
The name droppers.
I name droppers. By the way, my OB works there. You talk about the ministry. I used to work there. I know this person. And then they know everyone in every NGO. I mean, their life is also miserable, like ours who really don't know anyone. But they'll be them dropping. I know that. I know this. When they have a problem, it's you that they run to. You go to your people.
So please, let's normalize being normal people. We don't have to, be all up there.
I know, right?
I think that has a lot to do with, I feel like they have a problem.
They want to impress.
Wanting to be relevant, wanting
exactly.
to impress.
I feel like they have a
problem
with themselves.
I know a guy.
Because
a guy.
It also
we all know
reminds me
someone.
Of keyboard warriors. Like, you go on social media and this person is commenting on everything. Like, even hate comments. Like, and then there are some who say, I will unfollow you. Does the person care? Does the person you're unfollowing care? Or I will do this and this. Like,
the Baganda have a saying that, as in, if you're going to do something, you don't have to yap about it.
Right.
Go right ahead.
Like, they want to comment about everything.
You have to be a person of actions. No?
Hey!
Of not
less actions. I mean, more actions, less talk.
Yeah.
You know how they say,
yeah.
People can be all back but bite. And just be there barking but no biting. If you're going to unfollow someone, you have to first.
I know,
I'm
right?
saying
Like,
it's
don't wait at
weird.
me, just unfollow me.
Hey.
It's interesting anyway, some of the things that we do, you people. Let's just do better. There's some, you can't have opinions on everything. You can't be everywhere, honestly. Pick and choose your battles. Let's also stop normalizing. This is for my, not really career people only, even business. When you choose to say, I'm going out on leave, and then again you be on leave trying to work, give yourself rest. Like, normalize resting. If you're sick, normalize allowing yourself time to recover and recuperate before you start looking for work. I know circumstances are different. Sometimes your work will pile up and wait for you there. Or sometimes you are flying solo and stuff like that. But when it's time to rest, normalize rest. When it's time to go for a vacation and enjoy yourself without thinking without thinking about work for 1 minute.
They want to be appraised as he goes above and beyond. They also want to make others look like we aren't serious about our lives. We don't take work seriously.
It doesn't work like that.
Those of us who don't carry laptops when you're going on leave.
Or even just going home. You're reaching home at 7 and coming back to work at 6.
What are you going to do in that time? Except for, okay, fine. We all know that times when there are deadlines and all that. But a daily thing, really?
Oh, you are sick, really?
Normalize taking your sick days and your leave days and every other day that is to you, because your employer knows you need you need to have energy to be able to deliver.
Absolutely.
Some of these people make it seem like when you go for resting, you're running away from work. No, it's just me trying to recover as much energy and recoup back. And what is that?
Recoup and rest and recuperation.
Rest rest
and recuperation. I feel like we're being too technical, but it reminds me of these some trainings we do at work, and the fraud trainings, and they say fraud risk factors, people who don't want to go on leave
because they have a lot to hide.
Even those people knew that we need to go on leave.
People who don't want to go on leave, and then like even when they're on leave, they want to like still stay
be.
So you'll be there thinking you're working hard. Kumbe, fraud risk factors say otherwise.
I know.
Yes, but maybe one other thing I can say on things we need to stop normalizing. Putting others. I mean, I know this kind of contradicts, but putting others first before yourself. Like, we need to normalize self-love, yeah. Like, don't always put others before yourself. Even the Bible tells us that love your neighbor. Not as your neighbor loves themselves, no, but as you love yourself.
So you have to first love yourself.
Yes, like I bring this from a perspective of very many times some people will give, like pour so much out of themselves. Say maybe serve at church and you're this person in all the ministries. I have a friend and she told me this. We were having a chat and I was like, hey, but I hope you're not, doing too much to the point where you feel like, you've overstretched yourself. She's like, no, I've learned my lesson. Because the last year, she was in every ministry to the point where she got sick.
Wow. So,
it is good to serve. It is good to put other people's needs first. But
at what expense?
It shouldn't be at the expense of you forgetting yourself, you forgetting,
your family,
your own needs, to the point that you keep pouring now out of an empty vessel, and what you'll be giving will not even be quality. It won't be the best. So when you think of yourself, you'll be able to give the best version of yourself. Yeah.
But when you say that, for me, I think of it in quite a negative way, because this self-love thing, people are
not in the other context.
In the context,
people are making it. I feel like it's borderline selfishness.
Yeah, there's that too.
And egocentrism. But what we mean is take care of yourself so that you can be able to take care of the people around you or other people in general, really. We could go on and on. There's so many things that we need to stop normalizing and do better.
Yeah.
And we believe you guys have some that we haven't shared on here. Please add them in the comment section, because we are really just conversation starters. The real gist should be in the comment section.
Yes, please.
Yeah, and also don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up so that it reaches more people. Thank you, HD Media, who shot and produced this episode.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.